Welcome. Our video presentation today is about people's attitudes toward self-driving cars in different situations. To start, let's define what we mean by self-driving cars. A self-driving car is a vehicle that uses an artificial intelligence system to evaluate information from sensors to make decisions while on the road. Multiple companies are successfully working on self-driving cars, including automobile and tech companies. As the progress of automation technologies in cars within recent years has been significant, these technologies are expected to be deployed on a mass scale within the next decade. So, this begs the question: is everyone fanatic to buy a self-driving car? Not really. Some people are skeptical about this new type of vehicle, because of its recent accidents, including the one that caused the death of a pedestrian. Others ask, is this technology a new troublemaker? On the flip side, there was a case where a self-driving car saved a person from an acute disease by driving him to the near hospital, which is a promising aspect of self-driving cars. However, there is a remaining question: who is responsible? There are two theoretical backgrounds that can be used to understand this. One is Computers Are Social Actors by Clifford Nass. It argues that humans mindlessly apply the same social heuristics used for human interactions to computers. Based on CASA, it is assumed that people would see AI technologies in cars as drivers, and treat them as they do to other human drivers. Defensive attribution is the other one, which is a part of attribution theory. It claims that people tend to blame more when a perpetrator is dissimilar to themselves. Based on this perspective, we anticipated that in a blamable situation involving an AI and a human driver, people would be more likely to accuse the AI one. It is because people feel more dissimilarities from AI drivers than human drivers. Also, we assumed that people would attribute less responsibility to an AI driver when it did a good thing, compared to a human driver with the same performance. These are hypotheses and research questions based on these theoretical backgrounds. Hypothesis 1. Artificial intelligent driving systems and human drivers will be positively perceived in a rescuing situation than an accident situation. Hypothesis 2. People will attribute more responsibility to an AI-enabled driver than a human driver in an accident because of a level of the perceived dissimilarity. Research question 1. What is the relationship between the identity of drivers and the level of responsibility attribution in rescuing scenarios? Research question 2. Is there an interaction between the valence of outcomes and the identity of drivers? We conducted an online experimental survey with 230 participants recruited from MTurk. It was 2x2 design, which consists of human driver versus AI driver, and positive outcome versus negative outcome. 4 types of fake news articles were randomly but evenly distributed. Participants were asked to read a given article before answering the survey. 3 scales measuring perception of drivers, attributed responsibility, and AI perceptions were in the survey. These are sample articles about an event with an AI driver, either saving a person, or a car crash. In this case, saving a person constituted as a positive outcome, whereas a car crash constituted as a negative outcome. And these are the same articles in the human driver condition. The results showed that there was no significant outcome for both the valence of events and the identity of drivers, in terms of attributed responsibility. There were findings that people tend to think AI drivers have more stability and internal control than human drivers. Also, the overall attributed responsibility did not show an interaction effect, except stability. We conducted t-tests for further analyses. We found that people saw drivers in the rescuing case more positively than the ones in the accident case, regardless of the identity of drivers. Also, there was no significant difference between human and AI drivers in terms of attributed responsibility when it comes to the accident case. However, a significant outcome was found in the rescuing case. So, what do these results tell us? We find that people's opinions about human and AI drivers were based on the valence of events, and the identity of drivers does not matter. In other words, people perceive AI drivers just as they do human drivers. This result supports the argument of causa. In terms of attributing responsibility, interesting results were found. When it comes to complementing, people attributed significantly higher contributions to AI drivers than human drivers. However, there was no significant difference between AI and human drivers in terms of attributed responsibility when it comes to blaming. These results support attribution theory only partially. So, we thought maybe it is because of people's expectations about self-driving cars. Self-driving cars making a car accident may not be surprising, while saving a person is. Expectancy violation theory is a great theory to explain this, which argues that both the violation of expectations and the valence of the violation should be considered. Future studies about different attitudes toward machines can have better insights with this theory. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it.